The Sunday row has been called. Awake, O Adventist, awake, the Sunday row is here. Jesus is coming soon. Awake, the Antichrist has arisen.
Mr. White says that the Antichrist is the papacy. The Bible tells us that the Antichrist, the man of sin, is the papacy. Now, let's allow the Catholic Church speaks for themselves. Let's allow them to tell us who they believe is the Antichrist. Keep in mind, anti does not mean here in this context, it does not mean against. It means in place of, a substitute. That's the Antichrist there. Let's allow the Catholic Church to tell us. Notice now, it says the leader of the Catholic Church is defined by the faith as the what? As the vicar of Jesus Christ. What does that mean? Vicar of Jesus Christ. Vicarious. That means a substitute in place of. Notice now, even means equal with Jesus, equal with God. It says, and is accepted as such by believers. The Pope is considered the man on earth that do what? Notice now, that takes the place of the second person of the omnipotent God of the Trinity. Notice now, that's what the word vicar means. Take the place, the replacement, the substitute. That's the Antichrist. Notice again, they speaking still. It says, the Savior himself is the door of the sheepfold. I am the door of the sheep. Into this fold of Jesus Christ, no man may enter. Notice with me now. No man may enter unless he be led by the who? By the sovereign pontiff. And only if they be united to him can men be saved. For the Roman pontiff, pay attention now, is the vicar of Christ and his personal representative on earth. So they are telling you who the Antichrist is.
Chapter 13. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
Revelation chapter 13. And the message now is being called upon here. People to come out and hearken to the prophecy. The Sunday law is here at hand. Where are the watchmen? Where are they to warn the people? The prophecy is here. The Lord said, what belongs to Caesar give to Caesar, or to Caesari. And what belongs to God, give to God. Somewhere, Saul tried to take two principles. He tried to take the order of a king and also to be a religious leader when he offered a sacrifice. Now, the churches have stretched out their hand, as the prophecy was saying that, and they are stretching the hand, calling upon the government to impose morality. We can impose morality upon the people rather than God. It's God only who can do it. But then they are now calling the state to use state laws. The state laws are only to function and to work upon only for criminal purposes. Morality, it's God only who can determine what is sin. Because sin is more than sin. Because sin, it includes what you think about. Who can impose morality? Who can call the people? Who knows the intent of the people or the thoughts? It's only God who knows. Now the state is being called by the Protestant churches. The people around the world, they are uniting. They are calling a single day to worship. The Sunday rose, the blue rose are here. Get ready, awake, O people of God. Revelation chapter 13. The first beast, the Papacy, came to America. He drew and they called upon the churches to come together. The common good, the climate thing. People are now being drawn together. Prophecy, prophecy, prophecy. Awake, get ready, get ready, get ready. Oh, servants of God, where are you? Children of God, get ready, for the voice is here. Indeed, it was prophesied that the Sunday law is coming. And indeed, this is the time. Ellen G. White prophesied a long time ago that labor unions in the cities will be used to influence the coming of the Sunday law. And now this is the message which she said. Labor unions in the cities. Satan is busily at work in our crowded cities. His work is to be seen in the confusion, the strife, and the discord between labor and the capital. Between labor and the capital. And the hypocrisy that has come into the churches. The lust of the flesh, immorality, the pride of the eyes, the display of selfishness, the misuse of power, yes, nations misusing power, the cruelty and the force used to cause men to unite with confederacies and unions, binding themselves up in the pandos for the burning of the great fires of the last days. All these are the working of satanic agencies. Evangelism, page 26, 1903. The wicked are being bound up in pandos, but up in trusts, in unions, in confederacies. Let us have nothing to do with these organizations. God is our ruler, our governor, and he calls us to come out from the world and be separate. Come out from among them and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing. 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17. If we refuse to do this, if we continue to link up with the world and to look at every man from a worldly standpoint, we shall become like the world. When world policy and worldly ideas govern our transactions, we cannot stand on the high and the holy platform of eternal truth. The SDA Bible Commentary, page 4 of 1993. Labor unions a source of trouble for the Adventists. The trade unions will be one of the agencies that will be bring upon this earth a time of trouble such as not seen since the world began. A few men will combine to grasp all the means to be obtained in certain lines of business. Trade unions will be formed, and those who refuse to join these unions will be marked men. They will be marked men. Because of these unions and confederacies, it will soon be very difficult for our institutions to carry on their work in the cities. Warning is, keep out of the cities. Build no sanitariums in the cities. Selected message 2, page 142 of 1903. The time is fast coming when the controlling power of the labor unions will be very oppressive. It is coming. Men in the city is strong for the right, for the truth, and the Sunday law is coming. It is coming here very quickly. And this is brought by Papron. Now, let us look in the news today, where we need the blue rose, that is with the Sunday rose, the religious tradition that sanctifies life outside of work. This is from Vox News today, 3 hours ago, October 2nd. October 2nd, as you can see, and it is written by Layman Stone with other people. Let us go directly to the point. The Church of the Assumption and the Church of the Adventist Episcopal on January 29, 2016 in Neville. During a recent cross-country road trip this summer, my wife and I were driving around Little Rock, Arkansas, looking for a place to eat lunch. We had a time finding any place that was open. Then we realized it was Sunday. It is not too surprising that in conservative learning in Kansas, certain rules or rules that restrict commerce on Sundays for religious reasons remain in force in many parts of the state. Arkansas banned most business from opening on Sunday until 1982. Until 2009, it banned all Sunday liquor sales, which in practice shut down many establishments that served alcohol. Not until July of this year did the town of Fort Smith repeal a law banning dancing on Sunday. Many towns in Arkansas City, including more left-leaning college towns, still maintain a wide array of local blue laws, especially regarding liquor. And the story continues. When I am not aware of a specific law that led to my difficulty finding a place to eat in Little Rock, the cultural tradition of blue rose was strong enough that restaurants offering Sunday brunch appeared far less common than in more secularized places where I lived. And in an era with increasingly fewer protection for workers, yes, this is now labor unions. And in an era with increasingly few protections for workers, progressive and religious conservatives alike should unite to push for more blue laws that protect the sanctity of life outside of work. Is this not what Ellen G. White prophesied? American life is increasingly market-driven. Yes, people need prosperity. Religious bodies have traditionally provided an antidote. What is the antidote they say? The Sunday law. Oh, is it coming? It happened in the 1800s, as Ellen G. White prophesied, as it is written in history as well. Over the past 50 years, many institutions that once protected American workers and families from the ravages of unbridled capital excesses have been eroded. The most prominent such institution that may come to mind is the labor union. Labor union? Once powerful bodies that pushed for shorter working days, longer weekends, better pay, and safer working conditions. Today, labor unions represent just 10% of American workers. What are they calling? Labor unions? Oh, prophecy. But unions are not the only social institutions. So social institutions, they are not the only social institutions that once sought to give out for American way from work. The religious bodies have since time immemorial claimed. Oh, and that is it. Religious bodies have since time immemorial claimed certain days and times for themselves, set apart for worship, prayer, or rest. The Jewish Sabbath is perhaps the most notable example of this practice, but virtually all religions have some sense of times that are set us apart. So, they are saying, let us come together for Sunday, during which many forms of labor or commerce are taboo. You cannot buy or sell. The book of Revelation says, during which many forms of labor or commerce are taboo. These restrictions are known as blue laws, and in today's climate of economic anxiety, religious conservatives and economic progress should make common goals to restore them. The climate, and it was prophesied. This is what was written. So these restrictions are known as the blue laws. Today's climate of economic anxiety, religious conservatives, who is pushing this? Do you remember who said it? Who is pushing for this? It is the man of sin, the Antichrist, the Pope of Rome from Vatican. While these practices have been origin in various kinds of religious convictions, they are ultimately part of what economic historians would call a moral economy, or an economic system where the moral or ethical norms of a society are sufficiently strong that with or without the intervention of the state, certain values are prioritized above the market itself. What are they saying? While these practices have their origin in various kinds of religious convictions, which religious convictions? This came from the man of sin. This is what was being pushed in 1898 when the people were demonstrating for that to not to pass. And this one is what is coming. The devil is behind it. Satan is working. Satan is working. Industrialization mostly destroyed this system, but some pieces of it, like abstention from work during church-going hours in the Christian societies, either remained normative or were enshrined in law. So, if they are calling for the United States of America, the piece of Revelation 13 verses 10 downwards, to come and help, to go and seek the church. And this was prophesied that Protestants will grasp the hand of the Papacy, the Antichrist, to help them in enforcing these forms of laws. They are saying, in the United States, blue laws, so-called due to the blue paper on which Puritan readers printed the Sunday trade restrictions. What? In the United States, blue laws, so-called due to the blue paper on which Puritan readers printed the Sunday trade restrictions, date back to the 18th century, at least. 1888, N.G. White prophesied, this is what was happening. Demonstration. The Sunday law is coming. The mark of the beast. It is coming. Restrictions are coming. You will not be able to buy or sell. Revelation chapter 13. Blue laws continue to dwindle across the United States. Blue laws continue to dwindle across the United States. The Sunday law is coming. People of God, should you not awaken at this time? Today, blue laws are increasingly rare. The last statewide full-day restriction on commerce in North Dakota was built in 1991. The only place in America where general retail remains totally prohibited on Sundays is Pageant County, New Jersey, where the law remains popular. A 2013 push for repeal could not even get enough signature to get on the ballot. I am aware of polling on this issue to determine what the partisan mix of support for county blue laws may be. But Pageant County's presidential election vote share was about the same as the state of New Jersey on the whole, meaning it went for Hillary Clinton. It continues. The Sunday law is coming, my dear friends. This was prophesied a long time ago. Many states and counties around the United States have a wide range of partial restrictions on certain hours, on business, for religious reasons. North Dakota prohibits retail before noon on Sundays. Although voters may get a chance to repeal the statewide restriction in a part measure in November. A huge number of states and counties restrict the sale of alcohol or cars on Sundays, and many places also somewhat bizarrely restrict hunting on Sundays. Particularly, the very secular-minded may celebrate the end of blue laws, seeing them as a violation of certain church-state separation. The result of blue laws repeal may be distinct and progressive. This is what it is. It is inviting the church and the state separation. This is the church which is inviting the nation to help them to enforce morality, and morality, it is only God who can determine morality, because it's only God who knows who are sinned. You cannot know the intents and the thoughts of the mind, because sin is even what you think about. That's what a government cannot do. A government can only deal with crime, but not sin. Sin is the transgression of the laws of God, not of man. The laws of God. That is what is coming. That's what the nations, the people are calling upon. To begin with, the Supreme Court, as repeatedly and fairly recently, ruled that blue laws are constitutional. Oh, the people of God, awake. The state can prohibit commercial activities on certain days, even if the days are selected for apparent religious reasons. So, even if others will be worshipping on certain days, they can set a certain day for their own purposes, for apparent religious reasons. Oh, so it is the state which they want now to act for the religion. The reasoning is that the state may have an interest in people spending social time away from the work or commerce in a coordinated way, and it is reasonable for the state to accommodate existing social forms, such as religion. While this may seem like a backdoor to the establishment of religion, it is actually a distinctive progressive view of how the law functions. It implicitly, by approving blue laws, the Supreme Court is admitting the view that the state may implement very specific, apparent, arbitrary rules to achieve non-economic general well-being related goals like leisure time for workers, labor unions. In other words, blue laws are a way that the state enshrines a special time for citizens to exercise rights to assembly, religious and secular. As what does the First Amendment speak about? Assembly requires that people have time off together. So, the assembly means what? What are they saying? Assembly requires that people have time off together. So, it's a must-day thing. They have a time together. Not that others to be going to church, for example, on Saturday, and others are going on Sunday. They require that the people have time off together, so it doesn't work so simply mandate that business close for only random 24-hour period, because that doesn't ensure that the people have time for off together. The state cannot force you to go to the church or a community. This is what is coming. The state cannot force you to go to church or a community meeting or spend time with loved ones, but it can force your employer to close up shop. No. Do you know what is labor laws? Raising odds that you invest in socials. That is not so. This is what they are sending to the people. The comparing interest in togetherness is vital, as it suggests that the state may have The comparing interest in togetherness is vital, as it suggests the state may have a varied legal interest in supporting the formation of strong communities and social bonds outside of tax-paying employment. The Sunday law is coming, my dear friends. There is much which we need to learn from here. Calling the people to be ready. Get ready, get ready, get ready. Like many states have implemented this, like in Poland. Also President Macron's message. Around the world, blue laws are widely practiced. Most of France until recently was covered by restrictive Sunday laws. But President Emmanuel Macron's neoliberal government has opened up Sunday shopping. Much of Germany is covered by blue laws, most notably in religious Bavaria. Poland recently implemented blue laws to give service workers time off and families time together. Is this not what the great controversy speaks about? Now, listen to this. The social choice to protect a single day of the week for society to collectively step back from work and commerce and spend some time together should be endorsed across the political spectrum all over the world. Is not that what they are saying? Except perhaps among totalitarians and libertarians, the former due to a distaste for robust private assembly, the latter due to an overzealous desire for the universal commercialization of humanity. Universal commercialization of humanity. The Sunday law is coming here. Where are the watchmen? The three angels' message need to go outside. The three angels' message should be going outside. Where are the people of God? Where are they now to sound the message to the people? And yet the blue laws continue to fall by the wayside. They are inconvenient for a peace society. But their inconvenience is precisely by they must be defended. So we defend this one. And defended as a matter of legal requirement. People need to have their arrest defended from the constant encroachment by business, and particularly at the hands of business. It is business. The Sunday law is here, my dear friends. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. The nations have now gone a faraway step. They have gone a faraway step. Get ready, my dear friends. Nations have now gone astray. Thank you for joining us. This is Adventist Angels Watchman Radio. Your watchman calling the people, come back to God. The Sabbath, Saturday is the Sabbath. God bless you. Peace be with you. Amen.